So while getting jacked is surely a no-brainer, everybody needs to work out. There's no doubt about that. And if you're in our world, you're in the less than 1% of the U.S. population that exercises. You need to. You'll feel better. You'll stay leaner. You won't be overweight. Less health issues, better sex. There's no downside. It's foundational. Is there any alternative to bartending if one wants constant exposure to hot women to hit on? Again, I've always used, it's important. Environment matters. And guys that aren't good with women who want to accelerate their development, and again, you only have to do it for like a year or two, is to put yourself in the right environment where you're able to meet a lot of women in a social environment where you can escalate and move them home and bang them. Again, a lot of guys get lucky. They don't even know how they do it. They're in the right place at the right time. But for some guys, you work in a warehouse, your game is going to be stunted, at least if you don't have good logistics. So, I always tell guys, if you want to accelerate your game, you start lifting weights, get a job, preferably at a bar close to a college campus. This is the ideal because it forces you to talk to people. You get rewarded for it. Alcohol is sex fuel, and bartenders just close well. Again, it forces you to be social. You're in a position where you can be pro-social, and it's normal. It's what you should be. And you actually get financially rewarded for developing a personality. There's really no downside. But there are other jobs beyond, because, some guys, they don't do the late night thing. But bartenders, it said, what jobs guarantee constant exposure to hot girls? And I've always asked this over time, because I get good answers from guys that are out there on the ground. They know bartenders, of course, is number one. It's just unbeatable. And especially because you can do it while you have another job. DJ, party promoter, it forces you to be social. You're going to have to build some connections. Photographers do well. Photographers have been notorious womanizers for over a decade, since film was invented. Liquor sales promoters do great. Roy Assi, who wrote Chateau Heartiste, that was his job in Washington, D.C., was as a liquor rep. And it forced him to be out. And of course, he didn't need any help, but it put him in the right places at the right time. Because you can have the best game in the world. But if you work at a convenience store off the highway in a town of 30 people, it's going to be a little bit difficult to meet a lot of women. Personal trainers, again, location dependent. You need to be in an affluent area where there's a lot of singles. Again, it's not going to do you much good if you work in a bedroom community and everybody's married, because sooner or later you mess with married women, you end up shot. So personal trainer is location dependent. You want to be in like an upscale, singles, hipper, more affluent neighborhood where there's more singles and young professionals. What else? I had everything posted in here. If Twitter's working, I think one of the guys said like front desk in the gym. That's at a college town. That's no less. Owning clubs, bars. That's a big chunk. I try to find that you don't have to like sell your soul, or again, bartending is something you can do for a couple of years, and you take the skills with you forever. Or you can work door if you're more on the bodybuilding security side. Anything that puts you in a nightlife that you're supposed to be there. Again, you're going to be exposed to it, and you need some freedom of movement. You can't be stuck in one place. It's like why valet parking doesn't work well, because you're just making contact and running away. Good morning from Dallas, Texas. Julio, I appreciate your kind words. So what jobs guarantee? So always think about your environment. If you're learning game and you're struggling to get in the repetitions, again, it's no different than training. You need consistency. If you're trouble getting the repetitions in, you may have to find yourself a part-time job in an environment that's conducive to you improving your game. And these are the jobs that, you know, in general will help you. Next slide.